Morning, peeps. Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing? Hopefully, you guys are all doing well. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe. We went over 47,000 a few days ago. 47,000. We did a video last week talking about 46. So thank you so much to all of you who have subscribed. Onwards and upwards to the big 50. Onwards and upwards, people. We're going to get there very soon. I can feel it. We are back, by the way. And what I mean by that is no more traveling for the next few weeks. We've traveled so much recently. We did Nashville to London, London to Vegas, Vegas back to London, and London to Dallas. All of that in like 2 weeks. So yeah, we're going to press the pause button for a little while. I'm going to press the pause button myself and go on holiday in 2 or 3 weeks time for a couple of weeks just to chill out and relax. I think it's important. But yeah, it is good to be back. So we are going to be doing video after video after video to almost play catch up. And obviously we're going to be doing our weight cut videos as well. We didn't put one out yesterday just because I didn't film anything of myself training in Dallas. We did train. We trained every day, twice a day, which is crazy. And the weight has come off, which is nice. We're weighing around 87 kilos at the moment. Remember, we started this journey at 95.4 and we need to get down to 79, and we have 3 weeks. So today is, 3 weeks from today, we need to be 175 pounds, which is around 79 kilos. So we are on target, which is good. And we will release another video on Sunday showing you what we're going to do this week. All right. I've just come back from Dallas, Texas, which is by far the hottest place I've ever been on this earth. Bear in mind, your boy's been to a lot of places in Africa. Nothing is as hot as Dallas, Texas. It was boiling. I don't know why. I don't know where it is in line with the equator. I'm not quite sure about all that stuff. But it was boiling. And maybe that's why I was able to keep the weight off, because I jogged a couple of times on the street at night. And even at night, like there at night, I jogged around 10 o'clock in the evening. And it was as hot as anything I've experienced in this country. That's how hot it was at 10 o'clock in the evening. But look, it was good to be out there for this Jake Paul, Nate Diaz fight card. Obviously, I hosted it. It was probably the biggest event I've done. It's weird. I didn't think of it. Someone mentioned it to me. I think someone at the Zone said, is this the biggest one you've done before? And I was like, no, I've done Canelo. But then I realized I did Canelo from a studio. So it's not the same as being ringside. So yeah, this is probably the biggest one I've ever done. I was obviously going to do AJ versus White. But yeah, it was amazing. It was an amazing experience just to be out there. I landed there on Tuesday and we got straight to work. So I worked Tuesday, I worked Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and obviously the main event Saturday. On Tuesday, it was just a few interviews, which was very easy. Wednesday was, what was Wednesday? My brain is fried. Wednesday was the media and public workout, which was insane, by the way. One thing we don't do a lot of over here, we do the workouts, but it's more of a media workout. Let the public in. Let the public in. It was such a great atmosphere. There was about 1,000 people at this place called The Factory in Dallas, which I think puts on small fights as well. And it was such a good atmosphere, good energy. And I think for the fighters, I think to work out and do a little, little pad session, jump rope, whatever it is, to do it in front of fans and a DJ, it's just so much better than doing it in front of the media. So that was good. Thursday was the press conference, which I hosted, which was fantastic. I hosted it and threw it down to Ariel Helwani. And then Friday was the weigh-ins, which again, I hosted and threw down to Jimmy Lennon Jr. Jimmy Lennon was there. And obviously Saturday, the main event. Quick story. And by the way, these, I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it because these fight cards, I thought it might be a bit like the Misfit stuff that I've done, but it wasn't like that. It was like everyone on there was a fighter, like a real boxer, like boxing records. I guess apart from really Jake Paul, but everyone else was a fighter there. So it was good to be around sort of fighters. Sometimes when you do the Misfit stuff, which I've enjoyed, by the way, but you're around kids a lot of the time. It's kids and it's just chaos, and I'm old. I'm fucking 42, and sometimes I'm like, God, like stop. But this wasn't that. So on what day was it? This might have been Friday. Yeah, it was Friday after the weigh-ins. I'm just chilling in the lobby, and Amanda Serrano walks in with her manager, and me and Ak are just chilling. We talk to them, and they ask us to come for breakfast with them. You're not going to turn down Amanda Serrano, right? So like, yeah, sure, let's go for breakfast. So we're there, and we're just hearing the stories and her journey. And it's really her manager talking. Amanda's there, but her manager's talking. Her journey from where she was even 2 years ago to where she is now is insane. Just her financial journey. She was already 2 years ago a 5-weight world champion or 6-weight world champion, but she was making $3,000 a fight, $5,000 a fight, $10,000. It wasn't a lot, but she also understands that, you know, it's a business, right? Bums on seats. She gets all that, but she was making no money, like zero, until she linked up with Jake Paul. Who I believe in her first paycheck with Jake Paul, I don't know if I can tell you how much, but it was a lot of money. It was a lot of money compared to what she's been getting now. But she just spoke about just the crookedness of the business, like how corrupt the business is. And when Jake Paul came along and kind of saw the purses that she was getting, he was like gobsmacked, like what? And then elevated it. I say that because, look, we give a lot of stick to Jake Paul. I know some people treat him like Marmite, some like him, some don't. The fighters that work under him love him. I genuinely love him. I didn't just speak to Amanda Serrano. I spoke to a guy called H2O Silv, Ashton Silv, a lightweight who got a victory against William Silva to the body. Fantastic victory. Even he spoke about the fact that, and this is off camera, this is me just chilling in the gym, in the hotel, his missus was there, and it's just me and him having a conversation. It's like, dude, man, fucking Jake Paul gives me books to read, just gives me advice and financial management. And like, fighters seem to really like what Jake Paul's done for them. And I guess that's the biggest compliment we can give Jake Paul, that the fighters like him, because fighters don't always like the managers and the promoters. It's almost a case of just, we've got to work with them, but they seem to get on with Jake Paul, which I really, really like. Quick one, back to the story about Amanda Serrano. So yeah, we're chatting with Amanda Serrano. Then we're walking back to the hotel, and I see a trainer shop. And you guys know I've got this weird obsession with trainers. I don't know why, because I don't fucking wear them. All I wear is Converse, but I like to sometimes just buy trainers. I think maybe it's because financially I couldn't afford trainers a couple of years ago. I was buying fucking secondhand Converse. So the fact I can now, it makes me want to maybe buy them now. Anyway, we go into this cool trainer shop. Amanda Serrano is a bit of a sneakerhead as well. And I pick out a couple of trainers that I'm going to buy, take them to the till. Amanda picks hers out. She buys like 4 or 5 pairs. And I'm genuine about this. I'm paying for my trainers, and she almost like, no, you're not. And she buys my trainers for me. But I don't know Amanda Serrano. I'm not like, Amanda Serrano isn't like the relationship I've got with AJ or even a Chisora, where I know them. I've known them. So I get it. That's my first proper interaction with Amanda Serrano. I didn't really interact with her when I did the Katie Taylor fight, right? I don't think I even interviewed her. I didn't know. So she knows of me, but not like that. We're not like that. And she was like, no, I'm paying for them. And she paid for them. She didn't get a discount from the trainer shop or anything like that. She paid her hard-earned cash for my trainers. And I don't know why I need to tell you that story, but I was almost in shock. I was like, what? No. And I wanted her to know that I didn't do it on purpose. Like, I didn't put them there for her to pay. I was going to pay. I was ready to pay. And she paid for them. And I just looked at her differently, like, geez, this woman's kind. She's kind. And we spoke about the Heather Hardy fight. And she's like, look, she knows she could be fighting someone better than Heather Hardy. But she remembers, obviously, look, she's grown up in and around Heather Hardy. She knows how Heather Hardy, who's slightly older, was a bit of a trailblazer. And she also understands how much Heather Hardy's been getting paid for Heather Hardy's fights ever since Heather Hardy turned pro. And she's like, she wanted to give Heather Hardy a payday. She wanted, and I have no issue with that. She said, this is the first time Heather Hardy's ever got 6 figures. And I saw their interaction backstage. And look, although she wanted to give Heather Hardy a payday, she still fucking beat her up. It wasn't like she was taking it easy with her. She was still, landing those shots. But I didn't mind it. I didn't mind her doing that. Jake Paul. I was watching Jake Paul closely all week. I've met Jake Paul a few times. I've interviewed him a couple of times, but I've not been around him during a fight week, right? None of his fights apart from I think the very early ones have been on DAZN. He's been fighting on different sort of platforms and organizations. And I thought, let me just kind of just watch him. Let me see what this guy's about. Solid dude. Telling you now, solid dude. Like, really great character. I watched the way he interacts with fans. I'm a sucker for that. I want to see how you interact with people that have been queuing up outside in this fucking Dallas heat for hours to even get a picture with you, for you to sign an autograph, whatever. And this motherfucker was signing all the autographs, taking all the photos. And I was like, I like that. I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. Because I see too many people that don't do it. And it annoys me. I think there's recently been a lot of talk about footballers just walking past fans. And I'm looking at them and I'm looking at someone like Jake, who's worth a lot more money than some of these fucking footballers. And I'm like, this guy still knows what to do. He still knows how to treat his fans. And look, I just find that quite important in this day and age, just how you treat people. As for his boxing ability, I'll tell you now, yeah, some people are digging out his boxing ability. I remember watching Jake 4 or 5 years ago when he was still in that kind of YouTube boxing scene, fighting the likes of Deji. He's fucking come on leaps and bounds since then. I don't know what people expect him to be. Now, sometimes I'm watching and I'm seeing some boxing people and boxers on Twitter talking about his boxing ability. And I'm like, what are you actually expecting him to be after 5 years? Like, most of these top boxers started boxing when they were single digit age, or very early, 10, 11, 12. This guy started boxing like 5 years ago. Like, laced up the gloves 5 years ago. And I don't know what kind of improvement you expect to see in him. I'm not quite sure if you're expecting him to double jab, fucking left hook, uppercut. I don't know what combinations you're wanting or anything like that. But I just look at him and I feel like this is someone that's dedicated his life, it looks like, from the outside looking in to the sport. Clearly in shape. Has got Sean Porter's old strength and conditioning coach, who I had a conversation with. Clearly they've got him in shape. Looked fantastic on the scales. Like ripped and strong. And look, I mean, ultimately he entertains. It's the entertainment sport. It's like, as brutal as the sport is, I do think sometimes people forget it's an entertainment sport. And the entertainment doesn't always just stop and start in the ring. It starts from the fucking, as I say, from the first press conference, all throughout the build-up, the media workout, the public media workout, the press conference, everything. The weigh-ins, the lot. And this guy ticks every single box along that journey. Ticks every single box. Love him or hate him, I'm watching him as a boxing guy, thinking, all right, let's see if he stumbles here. And then it speaks well, sells the fight well, promotes it well, antagonizes, does everything. Because he knows exactly what he needs to do to hit a certain number. And I think that fight will do really good when it comes to pay-per-view. I actually think it will do something similar to Spence Crawford, which again we're hearing is around 500,000 to 600,000. He just knows what to do. He's a salesman, but ultimately, regardless of him being a salesman, he has to go in there and fight. Now, whether or not you agree with the level of opponents, I guess that can be discussed, right? I mean, Nate Diaz isn't better than Tommy Fury, right? But he went in there with Tommy Fury. He wants to fight Tommy Fury again. Clearly, that's the level, isn't it? I mean, we're not getting silly here. I know he said he wants to fight Canelo. That's stupid. There needs to be a thought process to what kind of a fighter, what fighters he fights. But ultimately, like, I have no bad words to say about the man. Honestly, I think he's he's a good guy. I really do. I think him and his brother, what they're doing is just fucking sensational, man. I honestly, it's just sensational. Like, one of them's fucking in the WWE, flying from the top rope and pretty much killing himself and getting the respect from hardcore wrestling fans, which, trust me, is even harder. Hardcore wrestling fans are more brutal than boxing fans, and he's got that tick from them. He's got that tick, which is insane. And you got another one that is doing things in the boxing world. Bear in mind, both of these guys don't need to do that because they're both very, very wealthy. They're okay. They can just do their podcasts and all that. And you know what was crazy after? So I go into the changing room. They let me go in the changing room. There was a good friend of mine who brought her nephew, and he was desperate to see Jake Paul. And I'm like, I'll see if I can get you in. I get in the change room. I don't know if you guys have seen it on my Instagram, but I have a conversation with Jake. He's happy to take photos of my nephew. Again, things like that I like. But this guy then has a shower. No, doesn't. Does the drug test. Guess what this motherfucker does straight after that? Go and does his YouTube channel. Goes and records his podcast and sits down and puts that content out as well. And I'm like, these kids don't rest. Their energy is just, it's through the roof. Honestly, it's through the roof. Their work ethic is different. And that's what I'm a sucker for that. I try to pride myself on the fact that I put it in, but what they do is just, it's insane. When you watch it close, again, I've been up and close personal with not just him, but KSI and a lot of these other YouTubers, and just watching their work ethic, as well as them, again, trying to stay fit and do their boxing thing, but also do their social media thing and other little bits and bobs they do. I mean, they've both got brands and businesses, and I had to read out so many different fucking sponsors on the night just because that's what's covering him. Nah. Yeah, I fuck with Jake. I think he's a good dude. I really do. I think he's a good dude. And I think he's an entertainer. Honestly, this is their era. Whether you like it or not, this is their era. And they're trying to do, I think, the hardest sport in the world. And they're giving it a go. Again, they're not going to be fucking world champions or anything like that, but they're giving the hardest sport in the world a go. And you can't say Jake's not taking it seriously. I know some of you hate those misfits cards. I get it. But Jake's fight cards legit have fighters on them, like real fighters. I mean, again, you don't get more realer than Amanda Serrano. Didn't Jake Paul's last one have Badu Jack versus Makabu as the co-main event? Legit fight. So he's doing it the right way. People are getting paid. The fighters are getting paid. The fighters are happy. That's the most important thing, people, here. The fighters are getting paid and the fighters are happy. And that's down to Mr. Jake Paul. All right, anyway. By the way, how good's Amanda? Do you want to see the trainers I've got? Actually, I've got this glove here as well, which I might give away. Don't know if you guys can see this. Let me put it. So this is a signed Jake Paul and Nate Diaz glove, which I might give away. I'm not quite sure. But let me show you the kicks that Amanda Serrano paid for. All right, well, here we are. First ones. These Jordans. Can you see that color combination? Don't know if you can see these properly, but these are insane. Nice, right? And I might give these away, you know me. If I don't wear them after a few weeks, we might be giving them away. And these, I ain't giving these fuckers away. These Jordans as well. Jesus Christ, man. Look at those babies. Hey, look at those. Incredible. All right, guys, girls, peace and love.